In this week's episode of Tokyo Ghoul, Touka gets bloody revenge for the death of Ryoko. But first, a word from our sponsors! My 4X razor has 4 high-quality stainless steel blades, and you can have this bad motherfucker shipped right to your door. Cut ties with traditional razor blades, and sign up for Dollar Shave Club. Remember guys, you can check out a link for that in the description box below if you feel like being a lazy asshole. It's dollarshaveclub.com/SKG. Shave time, shave money, razor pun. Touka, you are one badass bunny. This was another awesome, action-packed, disturbing, creepy, and ridiculous episode of Tokyo Ghoul. I loved this one. It had a lot of really great standout action scenes. We got to see Touka going up against Mado and Amon. We even got to see Kaneki finally getting his iconic mask for the first time in the series. And just as it's shown in the intro and the promotional videos of the series, it's disturbing and creepy looking, and I can't wait to learn the reason why he had such a mask designed for him, because it seems like every character in the series has a mask which will somehow represent their personality in some form or fashion. Kaneki's mask is nightmarish. It's creepy and nasty and disturbing, and sort of just shows the evil ghoul side of himself. Whereas you look at a character like Touka, whose mask is actually this cute little bunny. And I'm not sure why, but Touka reminds me of Rukia from Bleach. And maybe it just has to do with the character design or the fact that she's wearing the cute little bunny design and Rukia just loves that. But I was also reminded of Bleach this week when we finally got to see Mado attacking with his brand new Kaneki weapon, which are the weapons which are created from ghoul body parts. And you got to see that at the beginning this week when he actually finished off Ryoko with a very violent scene. And it's really messed up because Kaneki couldn't do anything. All he could do was keep Ryoko's daughter from seeing the entire events. But the weapon that he's actually using was created from her husband, and it's actually like this big spinal cord with all of these like blades all over it. And it reminds me of Zabimaru, which is the Zanpakuto weapon of Renji from Bleach. It's nearly identical in how it works, in a sense that it's like this just big spinal cord whip with blades on it. And it can retract and go all over the place and go nuts. And this eventually leads to this action scene where Touka finds out that Ryoko was killed, no one's doing anything about it, and she wants to get revenge, so she goes out and hunts down these Dove members, and she runs into this group of Amon and his 2 friends, and she gets them alone in this alley, and she kills one of them, this one guy by the name of Kusaba, by just, I'm imagining, literally cutting his damn face off. They don't really show too much, but then she starts to get into a fight scene with Amon who's getting pushed against the wall, and then suddenly frickin' Mado just shows up out of nowhere attacking with his brand new Kaneki weapon, and the scene here is awesome. There's a lot of great choreography. Touka's doing a lot of great like martial arts moves. She's dodging all the attacks. But little by little, you can see that Mado's kind of a badass, and he's not going to let her take control of this battle. Mado is taking advantage of the battle as well by getting into Touka's head by bringing up Ryoko and mentioning that he wants to find her daughter so that he can finish her off as well. The scene is really intense, and eventually Touka does have to escape from the battle. But now, Mado is starting to see a connection between the rabbit girl, he calls her the Ukaku, and of course the other daughter that he is looking for. And Mado's pretty smart. He seems to be pretty obsessive because that's like his main thing in that job. Like he even states in this episode that he doesn't really have any sort of interest outside of his work. So you know he's a man on a mission and he is dedicated. Otherwise, there's another real cheesy scene at the end of the episode where you get to see that everybody is lamenting over the fact that a member of the CCG has been killed. And there is this one scene that I think is a little over the top, just with these guys when they go back to this restaurant where he used to hang out with his friends all the time. And Amon is actually sort of appeasing him and trying to make him feel better, and he like chugs this huge bowl of ramen. And it's actually a very funny and touching scene. It just comes across as a little cheesy for my tastes. And of course, at the end of the episode, there's a lot of build up to when we finally get to see Kaneki wearing his mask, which is awesome. Touka doesn't know what she can do to help Hinami. Everything just seems really depressing and sort of uplifting at the same time, with the fact that things are going wrong, but Kaneki is finally looking like he's about to start taking things more seriously. So, what's the rundown on this week's episode of Tokyo Ghoul? Awesome. If you like action, you're definitely going to like this week's episode. One character that I didn't talk about too much is Amon, and I actually think that he was a standout character this week. He's a man of few words, but I really like the fact that, unlike Mado, he's definitely a little more conflicted, like, in his goals. He understands that hunting ghouls is what they're supposed to be doing, and that he should be helping out his friends and trying to get revenge for them, the ones that were killed. But at the same time, he's also sort of breaking up the family dynamic of the normal ghouls, like Hinami and her mother Ryuko, who just sort of lived like random normal people and were relatively nice. And he just made her into an orphan, and in a way that's like messing with his mind a little bit. And I can't wait to see a little more development, especially from him and from Mado, because I guess you could call them the villains of the series, but at the same time, it's not exactly black and white. You just can't look at it that way, you know. They definitely still have like a sense of justice, but it's just the way they go about doing that, you know. A lot of the members of the CCG don't seem like they're bad people at all. Some of them seem like they're underhanded, like, and freaky. There's that one guy that Amon was talking to in the hallway this week who just had, like, you just looked at his face and you're like, oh, that guy's evil as shit. But you look at, like, some of the other guys who are hanging out at the restaurant and stuff. They're so relatively nice. And then you have Mado, who's just batshit insane. And that's what I love most about the show, because it's another demonstration of, you know, don't judge a book by its cover. You know, there are people who are actually ghouls and who are actually nice people, even though they eat human flesh. And then you have the villains who could be the heroes, but who could also be the villains. It's a really interesting series that makes you think. And it also just happens to have some really cool action, pretty good animation, some pretty cool artwork. The ending is great because it shows that the manga series looks beautiful, which I haven't even checked out yet, but I kind of want to after seeing all the endings, because they always include a lot of really cool imagery from the actual manga version of the show. On the technical side of things, this week's episode looked really good. The animation and the artwork was great. I loved the lighting and shading, especially between the battle between Touka and Mado. Mado was really intimidating and still seemed like he was having way too much fun during that battle, and Touka had a lot of great choreography combined with her weird Kagune abilities, which seem to just change in every single episode and become even more badass as the series goes on. Kaneki getting his mask is great, and everybody getting ready for the big battle with the doves, and even Jason! Who knows when Jason is going to show up? So this week's episode was awesome. It was a little slow in the beginning, but otherwise, I really enjoyed this one, especially for all those action scenes in the middle. So I'm gonna give this week's episode a 9 out of 10. Check it out, guys. Badass stuff. Thank you for watching my review today. Before you guys leave, make sure to hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to tell me what you guys thought about this week's episode of Tokyo Ghoul. What did you think of the battle between Touka and Mado? And what do you want to see from the future of the series? Remember guys, if you haven't already, make sure and subscribe to the channel so you can see all of our latest anime and manga reviews, and make sure to check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. I'll put links for those in the description box below.
Do you like Amazon.com? I know I do. Corey and I now have an Amazon link in our video description box below. And if you go to it and buy anything through Amazon.com, it will support our channel. So bookmark that link, make it happen, and support our channel without having to do a damn thing.
Another great way you guys can help support our channel is by donating directly through our PayPal link in the description box below. We recommend $2 a month, although this is completely optional. But the best way to go about this is by sneaking into your mom's room and taking $2. This way, she won't even notice. And we won't have to shake you up for all of your lunch money. So guys, that concludes this review today. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.